Imagine camping in a forest with no cell service. You're miles from the nearest road. At nightfall, you hear a distant siren. Not unusual, maybe, until it begins shifting, twisting. It becomes a woman's voice, then a child's, then static. You step out of your tent and see something moving between the trees. Something impossibly tall, with sirens for a head. It turns towards you, and the last thing you hear is your mother's voice, calling your name, even though she's been dead for years. My name is Andrew, and this is Legends Untold. Today, we're diving into one of the most disturbing monsters of the internet age, the towering nightmare known as Siren Head. So go grab something to drink, grab yourself something to snack on, and come hang out with me. Siren Head is the brainchild of Canadian horror artist Trevor Henderson, first introduced on August 19, 2018, via a now iconic image posted to his Instagram. The caption read, "You could hear it from miles away. At first, it sounded like a tornado siren, then a garbled voice calling out names. No one ever came back." Trevor Henderson's creatures often blur the line between modern myth and analog nightmare, but Siren Head became his breakout monster. Its appearance in this image and subsequent ones, always depicted with grainy, vintage textures, gave it an uncanny found footage feel. We do love ourselves some found footage feel, don't we? Found footage and analog horror kind of go hand in hand. The two really help feed into each other, especially when you do that static analog filter over top, or the VCR filter with like the scan lines. That really helps sell analog horror and found footage, honestly. Like, you could do found footage with the cell phone, dull the image down a little bit to like 720p or something like that, just so that it's a little bit off, and then put the scan lines on it. Bam, analog horror. Go do it. Go give it a try. Do it.
Seriously, do it.
Siren Head's design is deceptively simple, but horrifying in its execution. Standing 40 to 50 feet tall, its body is gaunt and desiccated, like a corpse stretched too thin. It appears mummified or rust-colored, and its limbs are abnormally long, ending in clawed fingers. Its most horrifying feature is its head, or rather, the lack of one. Instead of a skull, Siren Head has two industrial air raid sirens mounted on a pole-like neck, with wires and tendrils running into its emaciated bodies. The sirens rotate and can open to reveal flesh and teeth inside, a grotesque blend of organic and mechanical. Henderson himself said, "I like monsters that feel like they've always been here and just recently been noticed." Although with air raid sirens for a head, Siren Head wouldn't have been always here. He would have come about with the advent of the Cold War, when we started using air raid sirens, or probably even before that, because they used to have the crank sirens. While Siren Head is fictional, fans have documented its behavior like a real cryptid. Mimicry. Siren Head can broadcast voices, emergency alerts, and cries for help. Victims often hear loved ones' voices before being attacked. Although they do have that kind of AM radio or telephone filter over them, and every example that is out there, like games and shows and stuff like that, there's always that analog filter over it that sounds like a telephone, like an old school, like a landline, where things are kind of distorted and like it's just mid-range like this. That's kind of how it sounds. Don't ever record with that. Keep your hands away from your mouth when you record. Just a tip. I was just doing it as an example of what the voices from Siren Head sound like. Audio nerd, sorry.
Nerd boner. Nerd boner alert.
Regular boner alert.
Stealth. Despite its size, it can stand still for hours, even days, blending into poles or trees. Speed and aggression. In some stories, it moves with terrifying speed, ripping humans apart or crushing them with ease. Signal disruption. Electronics can often fail in Siren Head's presence. Radios, phones, and even cameras distort. That would be some sort of an EMP, or maybe he just has an insanely large amount of EMF and that makes things fail. in the 2020 indie game Siren Head by Modus Interactive. It stalks players through the woods, mimicking radio chatter and using its cries to disorient them. Siren Head emerged during the cultural shift in horror, the analog horror movement. This subgenre plays on low-resolution footage, VHS filters, and eerie, mundane broadcasts. Think emergency alert tones, Cold War PSAs, or those creepy duck and cover reels from the 1950s. You know, like when they would put the kids under their desks and make them put their heads between their knees and kiss their asses goodbye. Those types of things. So put your head between your knees and kiss your ass goodbye. That's what my dad always said. Sorry.
Jesus Christ.
Siren Head taps into that primal fear that the air raid siren isn't just warning you of disaster, it is the disaster. Trevor Henderson's work is often compared to the SCP Foundation, an internet-based horror mythos that catalogs anomalies. While Siren Head is not part of the SCP canon officially, fans have tried integrating it into a similar fictional database, labeling it SCP-6789, Pop Culture Presence. After going viral on TikTok and YouTube in 2019, Siren Head became a fixture in fan-made content. YouTubers like Corey X Kenshin and Markiplier featured Siren Head games on their channels. TikTok creators began staging fake sightings in forests, desert, and suburbs using AR filters and CGI. AR here referring to altered reality. Kind of like Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go is an AR game. Music and sound design artists like The Caretaker and Natrium have made audio tracks mimicking Siren Head's chilling voice distortions. Its fame was such that rumors swirled about Siren Head appearing in the Silent Hill reboot, a claim later debunked, but it showed how quickly the modern cryptid spread. Trevor Henderson hasn't listed specific inspirations, but we can speculate based on visual and thematic clues. The 1974 Cold War PSA Protect and Survive was designed to terrify civilians with its droning tones and grim narration, the sounds that echo through Siren Head's sirens. H.R. Geiger's biomechanical horror aesthetic, especially in Alien, feels spiritually aligned, organic forms merged with cold, mechanical function. Also, some point to the 1979 film The Visitor or the audio horror podcast Welcome to the Night Vale as indirect influences. Even folklore may play a role. In some ways, Siren Head resembles the Wendigo, Slenderman, or even Banshees or Banshee, as she was known. And for those who are not versed in Banshee lore, originally the Banshees were... It comes from the keening practice. Why did that... Sorry. AI camera. I don't know why it zoomed in like that. What the hell? That's not right. The AI is supposed to be turned off. No. Off, dude. What are you doing, man? Silly AI camera. Alright, where were we? Banshee. Banshees come from keening practice in Ireland. Basically, keeners were old women who would go around village to village, and if somebody had died, the keeners would scream and cry and stuff like that as a way to help the spirits move on. And eventually, that became banshees would cry to signal the death of a loved one for like the four major families of Ireland, and then it eventually became to whenever you hear a banshee cry, somebody is going to die. That's basically the modern interpretation of it. So it's changed throughout the years, but originally it was just the practice the keening practice. It was supposed to help families and all that move on from losing a loved one. So pretty cool. Let's be clear, Siren Head is fiction, a deliberate creation by an artist who never tried to pass it off as real. But what's interesting is how it behaves like a real urban legend. It spread organically, it's inspired sightings, it's developed its own rules. Psychologists might say Siren Head represents fear of isolation. Most stories happen in the woods. Fear of technology gone wrong, childhood trauma, hearing a dead loved one's voices, or the fear of not being able to trust your own senses. In a world where horror is often overexplained, Siren Head's power lies in what you don't know. It doesn't need a tragic backstory or elaborate rules, it just is. A towering relic from an age we try to forget, now stalking the edges of memory and myth. So next time you're in the woods and you hear a siren in the distance, listen carefully. It might not be warning you. It might be calling your name. I'm Andrew. This was Legends Untold. I hope you guys found this interesting as I did. I first kind of stumbled across him right when it dropped. I remember a short video of the person. They were standing on top of a hill. It was like San Francisco. Like, you know how San Francisco was like all downhill. It looked like that. They were up on top of the hill and they were filming, and Siren Head was walking off in the distance. It was super analog. It was super cool. I became fascinated, but then, and I figured since we're on kind of a creepypasta kick right now, might as well just go ahead and cover it. And yeah, I don't know. I think we did a pretty good job. But anyways, if you like what we're doing here, you know, let me like, comment, subscribe. Let me know down below what you think of Siren Head. Let me know if there's any other creepypastas you want me to look into, and I'll do it. We got SCPs coming up. I know we mentioned those in the video. We got some SCP stuff coming up. Probably just a broad video. I'm not 100% sure where exactly to go with it. I know I'm definitely going to talk about my favorite SCP. I love the SCP lore. I know we're definitely going to talk about my favorite SCP, and that's the Plague Doctor. I might pull some footage from the Vulcan. I'll message him and see if it's okay if I pull footage from him. I don't want him to like copyright strike me or anything like that for like a 30-second clip, but we'll see. If I can get his footage, that'll just elevate it and show you guys kind of how rich this world actually is. I know for sure when that video comes out, I will link the Vulcan below, because in my mind, he is probably the best at describing this foundation. Like, he has tons of videos about creatures and all that other kind of stuff. He goes over their classes and what abilities they have and like what they do, and it's a truly unique universe. And the fact that like people try to shoe in Siren Head just kind of screams to like how diverse that world actually is. So at some point we are going to cover SCPs. They were a thing before they ever became a game. It's a collaborative internet effort. Anybody can come up with it and then add it to the group of SCPs. So it's one of those things. That's how it's gotten so big, is that just people from all over have added stuff to it. And like people can add stuff to your creatures too, like if they have different ideas. That's part of what makes it cool. It's truly collaborative. Anyways, I'm going to stop rambling. I'm going to stop rambling, and yeah, I hope you guys have a good day, and I will see you next time.
One tone high, one tone low. Static bursts when nightmares grow. Every scream's a melody, a symphony of misery. Siren Head.
In a world where horror is often over-explained, Siren Head's power, YouTubers like Corey X Kenshin and Markiplier featured Siren Head games on their channels. Found footage it looks street, but it's uncomfortable. Whatever. Sorry. So next time you're in the woods and you hear a siren in the distance, listen carefully. It